Hi everyone, it's Dawn. It's the weekend and I wasn't going to film today, but I wanted to because I had so many things that I'd been thinking about and wanting to talk about with you guys. So I decided that I would film a video today. And what made me start thinking about it was, well, thinking about what I was thinking about was that I was reading an article about Pat Sajak and Vanna White, the hosts of Wheel of Fortune. I'm not a big Wheel of Fortune watcher. I was whenever I was younger, when I was like a teenager, and I loved that show. My mom liked to watch it, and we used to watch it together. And now, if it happens to be on somewhere and I catch it, I'll watch it a little bit. I like trying to solve the puzzles, but I never realized how long it's been on the air. I think it's been on the air for like 40 years, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. Pat Sajak and Vanna White are the original hosts. So they've been hosting Wheel of Fortune all these years since, I don't know, the 80s. That's a long time. And Vanna White, she's just so sweet and humble when you hear an interview with her. It's like she just loves her job. She's thankful to have that job and be able to raise her family and have this job for all these years. She doesn't give you the impression of being like a climber waiting for like the next best thing. She just seems truly thankful for this job. I remember back in the 80s, she had a little bit of a flurry of fame. I think they actually called it Vanna Mania, and People magazine did articles about her. I think she wrote a book and she made a movie. But then after that, she just went back to hosting Wheel of Fortune. Well, anyways, long story short, she was giving someone a tour of her dressing room on the set, and it's a closet space, and it's absolutely beautiful. And she works with the same woman who styles her clothing for her for every single show, and it's always been the same woman. I mean, how amazing is that, that all these people work together on this show for like 40 years. So she explained the process like this. For each day of filming, they film 5 shows, and the wardrobe assistant picks out Vanna's dresses, and she lines them up first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Then she takes shoes, and there's a whole wall full of shoes, and she puts the shoes that she wants Vanna to wear with that dress, with the dress, and then she goes to these drawers and she picks out earrings and jewelry and things like that and sets that with the dress. So Vanna has like 5 minutes to change between filming shows. So she comes in and this woman waits for her, just quickly gets her out of these clothes into the new clothes, new shoes, jewelry, and then out. Vanna really has no say. So she just wears what this woman selects for her. And it's usually dictated by a theme. So if it's like a Hawaiian theme, the jewelry will be a little more Hawaiian, or the dress might have some Hawaiian print. Whatever the theme of the show is, that's what Vanna wears, and this woman takes all the guesswork out of it for her. She said that she does have some favorite shoes that are really comfortable, and she showed which ones and things like that. But I don't know, I never really thought about what goes into Vanna's job, and for 40 years, she clearly enjoys it. But I was thinking then about the process of putting on our makeup and skincare and choosing our own clothes each day. And I don't know what you are like. Like for me, my clothes are easy because I have a very simple style, and I really could have a capsule wardrobe. I'm sort of like a casual dresser, but not super casual. I wear a lot of jeans, I wear a lot of leggings, and I wear like a nicer top, and then cute shoes or cute tennis shoes or something. So I try to, and a cute little handbag, I try to kind of up my game of being casual by wearing something, you know, colorful on top or earrings. And the process is fun. Do you agree, or do you dislike the process of selecting your clothes each day? But for me, because I have particular taste in what I like to wear, and I'm not super adventurous, it's an easy process. In the summertime, I like to wear sundresses pretty much every day and flip-flops, and that's it. So that is even easier, and you look dressed up because you put on some cute earrings, a pretty sundress, flip-flops, and you look like you've put a lot of work into your wardrobe. And then when I sit down to make a video for you or put on my makeup each day, or makeup for the week if I'm not filming a video, I like to play Vanna's wardrobe assistant, except for myself. I like to select an eyeshadow palette first, and then I build everything else around the palette. So whatever palette I've selected, I'll select a blush that I think will complement it, and then lips, and so on. I enjoy the process, and I like to put together different combinations. So one day, if I'm using a certain palette and I'm going to be using that palette for like the week, I'll mix it up with different blushes and lipsticks to discover new favorite combinations. So anyway, that's just been on my mind, and I thought I would start with that because I am in the process of turning over my wardrobe from all my summer clothes, spring and summer clothes, to fall and winter clothes. Because if you aren't familiar with who I am, I live in the Midwest, and we have very distinctive seasons. The summers are hot and humid, the winters are brutal, and they can be blizzard-like, or they could be like the Arctic tundra with temperatures like in the negatives, like -15. We just never know what we're gonna get. We can get a mild winter where it's above 30 degrees for several days in a row, but the seasons are very distinctive, and so my wardrobe and makeup and so on is very distinctive as well. And some of you asked how I keep my makeup and everything organized, and I have filmed a video on that, and I will link that video in the description box if any of you missed it and would like to see it. But I do have some updates, so I was going to show you a few things that might make organizing your makeup easy for you. I do have a lot of makeup, and it's because I love products, I love makeup, I love trying new things. I've always been that way. It really doesn't have anything to do with having a YouTube channel, as much as I'd like to say, oh, it's because I'm testing products for you guys. No, that's not really it at all. I've always been this way, and I've always just loved makeup, and I have a lot of it. So I'm going to show you a couple of tips on how I rotate out my makeup really quickly. So in my makeup organization video that I will link in the description box, I show you like the system I have. I have a drawer set that I put makeup in, and that video explains all that. But I also shared a case that I have, and it is huge. It's like this. It does zip closed, but I was getting items out of it today, so I left it open. And I got this on Amazon. I'll link it. It does come with a big strap that you can strap onto it, and it does have a handle, and it does have a way that you can adjust the strap to slide it onto luggage if you travel with this giant case. I never would, because I'm not a makeup artist. I'm only packing enough makeup for myself, and when I do go on vacation, I will bring, the biggest thing would be like a pouch like this, like one of these cosmetic pouches that you get with free gifts. And I would just fill it with my makeup for like a 5-day trip, and that would be sufficient. And then I'd have another one that would have my skincare in it. But I do have something new that I will be doing, and I'm going to show you. So this has in it like all my palettes that I'm currently using for the most part. And then it has a lot of Lancome, like all my like expensive makeup is in here. And I did go through this in that video, so I won't do it again, but it's a lot of Lancome. I have a couple Tom Ford palettes that I purchased years ago, and I probably need to pitch them or sanitize them and use them, because I don't know, I bought them because, whoops, I purchased them from the cosmetics company store and got a good deal on them, and I used them, and then they kind of fell to the wayside. I don't need to buy Chanel and Tom Ford and that really upper tier makeup, because I don't appreciate it any more than I do like my favorite drugstore makeup. So I've set a limit on myself. I did tell you before that I was going to try some Chanel, and I did. And I purchased some of these lip products with the long wearing lipstick and the gloss, and these things are deluxe. They wear all day, but I don't prefer them over my $13 Sephora long wear lippies. So I do have to set a limit on myself. I learned the same thing about myself with designer handbags when I was in my 30s. When I moved into the neighborhood I move in now, everybody was carrying like Louis Vuitton and nice expensive handbags, and I've always been a Coach girl. Always just carried Coach bags. Those were my favorite. They're still kind of my favorite, but I'm having a bit of a beef with Coach, and we can talk about that another time. But during that time, I did buy a Louis Vuitton Speedy 25, brand new. My husband gave me the go-ahead, and get this, I was 40 years old and now I'm 53, and at that time I bought it from Marshall Fields. I think it might have been no, it was still Marshall Fields. They didn't transfer the name to Macy's or get bought up by Macy's, and it was $500. I know that sounds insane, but I think the Speedy is like $1,000 now. So it's really gone up in price, and I'm really glad to have it. And then I purchased a Speedy 30 secondhand from What Goes Around Comes Around. It's a secondhand handbag site, and that's really the way to go. You can save a lot of money doing it that way, like with Fashion File, if you're into that kind of thing. But I'm afraid to use them. I'm afraid that I'm gonna use them up. I do have a couple Burberry bags too. I've always kind of preferred Burberry to Louis Vuitton, and I still have those. If you're interested in seeing I hate to even share that, like my deluxe handbag collection, because I'm really just not that into it. I'm considering selling some of them. So anyway, that goes with makeup too. So this is like my nicer makeup in this case, and I have like backups of old favorite products. Like these take up a lot of space. The Lancome Absolute Powder, I have 2 of those. My Christmas box Estee Lauder palettes from a couple of years ago. My Lancome palettes, and yeah, mostly Lancome is in here. It's not completely full. It's just, I can't tip it over without dumping things out, but it has a lot of space and it's humongous. So there are other brands that I have a lot of makeup from, like MAC. I love MAC, and I have a lot of MAC makeup. So I did purchase another little tiny case that's similar to the other one. This one's much lighter, and it's got the strap and the handle to travel. This one I would take to travel, because if I went on a vacation, I could fit all my toiletry products in here, skincare and makeup, for like a week-long trip. So this one I would definitely bring with me, but this contains all MAC, and it has MAC mascaras, eye pencils, lip pencils, and then I'm gonna try to tip this so you can see it without dumping it out. I'm gonna take a few items out. So I decided to move my camera down instead of tipping my cosmetics case up. These are MAC lipsticks here, more lipsticks here, a few here, a couple here. I have a lot of MAC lipsticks. I love them. And this is my entire collection. This is fall, winter, spring, summer. So this is not divided by season. It's everything. I have like my ×9 palettes. I have I have Semi-Sweet ×9, Burgundy ×9, and Dusty Rose ×9. And then this is last year's really pretty, like Dazzle Shadow palette. I should pull this out around the holidays. So I have my MAC, and then I have some limited edition. I have my bronzer, highlighter, blush, multi-dimension blush. All my blushes are here. And then the ones that I'm currently using, I keep in my drawer system over here. And so this big palette, Flamboyant and Nude Model, they're larger MAC palettes. They fit into the zipper pouch. So they both go in here, and I can zip this closed. So that's my MAC case full of makeup. And whenever I want to wear MAC, I just go right into this case. And then I have another case that's like kind of a mishmash that I'm currently organizing and filling up. So hold on, I'll show that one to you as well. Okay, this case is an in-between size case. It's larger than the MAC case and smaller than the large case, but this one is definitely manageable. I can pick it up with one hand, so you could easily travel with this one. And I got this on Amazon as well. So I'm going to open this up and show it to you. And I'm in the process of organizing this now. And so what I have in here are nicer like palettes that I'm not always using all the time, but I want to keep them like contained in a good way. And I've got like a Bobbi Brown palette. JD gave this to me for Christmas a couple of years ago. And then it was a limited edition and you couldn't get it. So I didn't share it a lot on my channel, but it's absolutely beautiful. I think I will, because you can still get all the same colors. And then I have a Charlotte Tilbury palette that one of my subscriber friends gave to me, Rye, and this is what it looks like. Hang on, I'll open it. And I love this palette because you've got your neutrals, you've got your kind of purpley amethyst shades, you've got your reds and oranges, and then you've got your copper tones. So no matter what your eye color is, you've got the color selection that will make your eyes pop. It's a beautiful palette. I think you can still get this one. You can still get this palette, Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. It was a limited edition, but last I checked, you could still get it on the Charlotte Tilbury website. I'm sure she'll be releasing something beautiful for Christmas. I will not be purchasing anything for the holidays of her new stuff because I just took advantage of the sale this summer. And then Rye gave me this Glowgasm. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. I love Charlotte Tilbury. Her aesthetic is so different than what I'm typically used to. I usually use more opaque colors and things like that. And Charlotte Tilbury's sheer and glowy, and it's so different to me. Okay, so what I have in here is an eyeliner, and it's a duo one from Charlotte Tilbury that I got in the end of summer sale. It's got your eyeliner on one end, like the darker color, and then it's got the brightening one. It's like Tarte Fake Awake that brightens up your lower lash line. And Charlotte Tilbury, oh, this is my concealer, which I like. A lot of people don't like this concealer. I like it. These are some of the items I got from the end of summer sale, but I kept them in the boxes just, I don't know, to take care of them better. Uptown Girl, I made a video with this one. And then I also have Pillow Talk. Everybody knows Pillow Talk. That's like Charlotte Tilbury's thing. And this one is the Flawless Filter palette. It's so pretty. Really pretty. You can still get this. This one I absolutely love. This is the Copper Charge, and it's for blue eyes. It was originally released to make blue eyes pop, and there's like a magenta one, a green one, and a blue one. So whatever your eye color is, you can make your eyes pop. So whatever eye color you have, she has a palette for you. But the Copper Charge honestly would be beautiful on everyone. And I'm super excited about this palette, and you can still get this one. I haven't shared it on my channel yet, and I've only used it a couple of times. I just got it at the end of summer sale, and this is her matte palette. And it reminds me a little bit of the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette that came out about 6 years ago. It was one of my favorite matte palettes. Those were more matte than these are. They're mattes, but they seem a little bit satiny. And there's only two. Well, you can do any combination of looks. You can do a cool matte look with these, or a very warm matte look, or you can do a combination, this with this and this, or, you know, just combine them however you want. But it's a beautiful palette, and I have no regrets about this one. This is going to be one of my favorite everyday palettes. So there's that. I did get her bronzer in the end of summer sale, and I got mine in the second to lightest shade. Or no, the first, obviously. It looks like one Fair Pal. I don't think she has one lighter than that. And then I do have a couple of the Eyes to Mesmerize, and I really like these. Oh, and I've got an Hourglass one in there too. This is the Rose Gold. And then I also have Oyster Pearl. And then I have this from Hourglass. I love this. And I have it in the shade Ray. It's the Scattered Light. It's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, but this is a little bit sparklier. Really pretty for a one eyeshadow look. And then I've got some Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks in here. And that is it. It looks like a lot. It's a lot of Charlotte Tilbury to me. I don't need any more. Oh, my blush palette. I have one blush palette that I really like. And it's not Pillow Talk. Everybody likes Pillow Talk. Mine is Walk of No Shame, and I love it. And I'm going to fill this up, and you can take these dividers out and make larger spaces or smaller spaces, or whatever you want to do is how you can organize it. Plenty of space up here. I like that everything can be wiped down, and then you've got your little zipper pouch here to tuck more palettes and things like that inside. And then there's more zippers here. There is a strap that I don't have on it right now for travel, but yeah, this is what I'm doing. So in the last case that I shared with you that has all that extra space, I'm going to put all my fall palettes in there that I'll be using this fall. I'll be using my Charlotte Tilbury all fall and winter. That's all year round. And I'm gonna add in like the palette. The reason I was making this video in the first place is because I wanted to share with you a fall palette, which I will. That's why I'm not wearing any eye makeup. I almost forgot about that. But I'm gonna be placing all my fall palettes that are in my drawers in that box, and I'm taking all the spring and summer ones out, and I store those in my closet. And whenever I've purchased the Estee Lauder or Lancome holiday boxes, they come in a big hat box, all the products, and after I remove all the products, this plastic thing that's in there comes out, and it's just a big hat box, and I keep all my off-season makeup there. And it just goes into the closet, zipped closed and forgotten about until, like right now, until the end of spring, when I'm starting to pull out the lavenders and the peaches that are not appropriate for fall and winter. I mean, is anything ever not appropriate? I don't think so. But there's certain palettes I just enjoy more in the summer, and others I enjoy in the winter, like the palette that I'm going to be using for you today. And it is a palette that's been around for a while, but you can still get it. And surprise, surprise, the Sephora sale will be starting on October 28th. It feels like we just got done talking about the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. See, there is always a sale. So if you feel like you're missing out, you are not. The one thing that I will suggest is on the 28th, the first day of the sale, through the length of the sale, I believe, the Sephora collection, brushes, tweezers, lashes, eyelash curlers, all those gadgets, and all the makeup is 30% off. So if something costs like $13 full price, it's 30% off, and it's a true drugstore price. And the Sephora collection, in my opinion, is like high-end. Everything performs like high-end. I haven't had anything that I've been disappointed in from the Sephora collection that I've tried. I love their brow products. I love their eyeliners. I love their lip liners, their lipsticks. I love everything. So anyways, the palette I wanted to share with you today is the Huda Beauty Haze palette. And this is the Khaki Haze. And this came out a while ago, maybe like 2 years ago. And I didn't purchase it right away, but so many of you told me that I should get this palette, that it would be really good for me. And I don't own any khaki palettes. This is the only one. So I decided to pick it up, and I've enjoyed it. I picked it up last year. I enjoyed it all fall and winter, and I put it away after the winter because it definitely is, in my opinion, fall and winter colors. There are a few colors you could wear in the spring and summer, but I just don't like to keep my makeup all out at once and cluttered because I'll only grab it a couple of times. So it's just best that I put it away, and then when the time comes to use it again, it's like a treasure. And Melissa 55, if you watch her, I'm sure you all know who she is. She's so beautiful. She has been reviewing the two newer Huda Beauty palettes on her channel. The Love, she did an eye look with the Love palette, which I will link in the description box. And then she also purchased one of the neutral palettes, and that one has a lot of like orangey and burgundy shades in it too. And they're both beautiful. I don't know if they'll be right for me because I'm so I'm so fair that the lightest colors in most palettes are definitely still suitable for me. And the darker colors can look garish because my features are all just very fair. You know, some redheads, they have a little more tone in their skin or freckles that adds more color to their skin tone, or they have brown eyes or more like auburn hair, and they can get away with a lot more. But I'm like very pale and blue-eyed and strawberry blonde, so I work with what I've got. So I am going to show you an eye look using this palette. Look how beautiful it is. And I'm going to show you some swatches. I'm going to be showing them to you on my hand. I'll split the screen in natural light. And it is a stunning palette. It has 5 mattes. And they are not satin mattes. They're true mattes. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4 here. more than shimmers, like metallics. And if you get them wet, your brush wet, they are like foiled and beautiful. The aesthetic is completely different than Charlotte Tilbury, where I talked about Charlotte Tilbury, everything's sheer and very glowy. These are very opaque, and you could even use the metallics as a one eyeshadow makeup look, and they won't be sheer, they're opaque, so it's really good color payoff. It's just a personal preference what you like. I like both. I typically would go for only this type of product in the past because I'm used to Lancome and drugstore products like NYX, and they're very opaque, but so that's why I'm so excited about Charlotte Tilbury right now. But anyway, back to Huda. So let's do one look with this. I was going to do a couple different looks. That was my original intention, but I had no plans on gabbing about Wheel of Fortune and showing you my makeup collection. So let's just go ahead and do this. First thing I'm going to do is take this peachy shade right here, the matte, very light, and just a nice pinky peach. This is one that you could wear in the summertime. I think there's only a couple shades in there that would be good in the summer, but I really like to combine them with the other shades. So that's another reason why I put it away. I don't want to use up the lighter shades and then have only the dark shades left. And I'm just gonna apply this into my crease and up. It doesn't have that like light, bright white shade that I usually use to kind of set my eyelid primer and all that. That's what's kind of nice about some of these fall palettes. They're so mysterious, you know, they're not like very light and springy. They're definitely like there's some mystery to the colors. Now I'm taking one of these brushes, they're like densely packed, and I'm taking some Fix Plus from MAC and spraying it, and I'm gonna go in with one of the metallic shades, and I'm gonna go in with this one that's right next to the peachy, and it is the peachy shade. I like to get my brush wet because I really like the way they apply when they're like metallic, but also they're not dusty at all. And I'm just applying this to the inner corner and the inner quarter of my lid. So today I will be organizing my makeup in my closet and kind of switching over my clothing to the fall clothing and organizing my makeup and stuff. I really find it meditative to organize things and just declutter a space. Don't get me wrong, I can really clutter up a space. I am so good at that. But the act of decluttering it is so satisfying to me. I spend much more time, like most people, cluttering up a space, and then you get so sick of it that you have to declutter it, and then when you finally get around to doing it, it feels so good and you feel like you've achieved something. Now I'm just taking like a flat brush like this, dense and flat, because I want to place some color right here in the outer corner without blending it very much. I just want to put it down and then I'll blend it. So there's a couple of options. I usually go for this color that looks like a plum, but it really isn't. It's more of like a brown, a deep plummy brown that's really pretty, and it looks really pretty with the peach tones. But since we're using the khaki palette, I feel like I really should use one of the khaki shades. Well, there's really only one true khaki, and it's this one. And then you've got like a pumpkin-y shade, and then you've got this terracotta shade that would be super pretty too. I always shy away from the khaki shades in the Khaki Haze palette, so let's just go for it. Right here, this is the one like really true brownish green, which is khaki, right? That's what I think of khaki as being like what the military wears, that brownish green. And that's dusty. This palette is dusty. I don't know how the other Huda Beauty palettes are. It's not the dustiest palette I've ever used, but it is pretty dusty. So I'm gonna have to do some cleaning up. And as you can see, I'm not being super precise. I'm just packing it here. And there's like a lot of color right there. And I'm not gonna be able to stand looking at the dust underneath, so I'm just gonna brush that off quickly before I blend. So are you guys doing anything fun this weekend it might be Monday when you see this. I'm not sure when I'll put it up. So if it is, did you do anything fun this weekend? I'm going to invite my parents over tomorrow. I hope that they don't have plans because it's really beautiful. In our town, we have something called Scarecrow Festival, and it happens every year, and different, like Boy Scouts, swim teams, businesses, they make their own scarecrow, and it goes into the park in our downtown area, and they get rated by judges and things like that. But there's also usually a carnival and food trucks, and it's just a really fun fall festival. So we might go to that. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we just avoid downtown St. Charles at all costs during Scarecrow Festival. I'm not sure how we're all feeling. If any of my kids want to go, they'll probably go with their friends, not with their parents, because they're all older. But I feel like doing something outside, hiking, looking at the fall leaves changing color, something like that. Okay, now I'm going to take this one right here. It's the metallic khaki shade that's right next to the khaki that I used, and I'm just going to place it on the edge of that flat brush and run it along my lower lash line. And now I'm going to take that same shade, and I'm not going to get it wet, but I'm going to pat some of it over the matte khaki. So I've got some sparkle going on today. I'm blend that a little bit. These colors are so pretty. They don't look muddy when you blend them out. At least the color combinations that I've done, I don't find that they muddy up and all blend together and look muddy and just dark. Okay, I'm just gonna go put on a little eyeliner. This is just a bronze L'Oreal Infallible eyeliner, and I'm gonna just do my upper waterline, and I'm gonna put on some mascara, and I'll be right back. This is such a long video. I appreciate any of you who are still here. I will link all the makeup I have on the rest of my face in case you're wondering what blush and lipstick and all that I'm wearing. It will be linked in the description box. Okay, so this is the finished look for my eyes, and I'm gonna bring you in really close. So thank you for sticking around with me. It was a long one. I just felt chatty today and had a lot to talk to you about. I'll see you next time. I hope you had a blessed weekend.